Oh gosh, stop. If you're making any of these mistakes, you are instantly ruining your winter looks. Hey you, so of all the winter style mistakes I see guys making, this one, it's probably the most overlooked, and that is wearing outfits with mismatched fabric weights. Allow me to explain. So every item of clothing in your wardrobe, they have a specific fabric weight. For example, your t-shirt has a lighter weight than, say, your wool sweater. And every year, when winter comes around, I see guys combining their heavy winter pieces with items of clothing that are way too lightweight. Your winter wardrobe is supposed to be made up of heavier fabric items like dark wash jeans, wool trousers, and leather lace-up boots. And when you combine these pieces with lighter ones, it just looks off and throws off your proportions. Now, a classic example of this is wearing, say, a heavy overcoat with some lightweight summer chinos. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a pair of chinos, but the lighter fabric weight just looks off during the winter months. Also, wearing a light t-shirt with, say, a heavy overcoat on top is a move that may look good in pictures, but never works in real life. Instead, stick to combining items made from more durable, heavier materials, but when choosing them, just make sure that you don't make this crucial mistake. Be honest with me, are you the kind of guy who invests in his wardrobe, or the kind who buys cheap clothes that fall apart after only a couple of months of wearing them? Don't lie to me. Okay, I know there are certain items of clothing in your wardrobe that are going to need regular replacing, like your t-shirts, socks, and underwear. That said, there are certain winter-specific pieces that really are worth that extra cash, specifically your boots and your outerwear, like say your jackets and coats. Cheaper versions of these are usually made from really crappy materials that aren't designed to protect you from the elements, which is crucial come the winter. Now, that cheap coat might look good, but as soon as you get caught in a downpour, you'll be wishing you'd invest in something a bit more waterproof. Now, cheaping out on your clothes, guys, it's such a rookie mistake because though you may think that you are saving money in the short term, you are ultimately putting it down the drain. Think about it. Would you rather spend $50 on a cheap yet trendy pair of synthetic boots that will be out of style within a month or two, or spend $200 on a timeless leather pair that could last you for the better part of a decade? I mean, the answer should be pretty obvious. And while we're on the subject of footwear, guys, we gotta discuss a men's style move that's actually, it's one of my personal favorites, but only if utilized during the spring and summer months. That's right, it's time to talk about flashing that ankle. Now, I just love it when a guy cuffs his pants to expose some manly ankle, and it's definitely up there, I would say, with rolling up your sleeves to show off those really sexy forearms of yours. Now, that said, rocking some loafers or low tops with a pair of no-show socks is a move that should definitely go into hibernation during the colder months. And there are a number of reasons why. First of all, unless you plan on asking your grandma to knit you some little ankle scarves, oh, that would be cute actually, then be prepared to feel some major discomfort. Exposing your bare skin to cold weather is almost as bad as getting rain or snow in your shoes and having to walk around with wet socks all day. Just the worst. Also, the winter ankle just looks plain wrong. In case you haven't noticed, this time of year is all about covering yourself up, and pairing your thick overcoat and wool trousers with an exposed ankle will just make you look like an idiot who ran out of socks. Now, if you happen to live somewhere that gets warm and sunny weather at this time of year, then look, by all means, keep flashing your ankles as much as you want. But if you live in a colder environment, then maybe hold off until the spring. If you do want to cuff your pants, then you can totally do this with your winter footwear, and this actually looks great when done with a pair of lace-up boots. Now, this is a move that women really love, unlike the next mistake on my list. There's no denying that the next mistake on my list is a guaranteed outfit ruiner, but before we get to that, I have to ask, does your winter wardrobe have the right outerwear options to see you through until the spring? If not, you gotta check out the sponsor of this video, Coofandy. The two jackets that caught my eye from their winter collection have got to be the tweed peacoat and the plaid wool blend jacket. Now, I've mentioned my love of peacoats so many times on this channel before, and Coofandy's
Dark gray tweed version is the perfect option for guys of all ages and body types. It has a classic double-breasted design with a smooth premium lining, and the lapel style collar will add a touch of refinement to even your most casual everyday outfit. Now the charcoal gray shade is super versatile, and it can be easily thrown over multiple seasonal layers such as sweaters, turtlenecks, dress shirts, and more. But if you already own a pea coat, as all guys should, then you should definitely check out Coofandy's stylish wool blend jacket. This vintage style jacket features a smooth interior lining, 2 chest pockets, and a heavy duty zipper for easy closing. Now I just love the dark plaid pattern that allows it to be easily paired with so many different items in your winter wardrobe, like your dark wash jeans, wool trousers, and leather lace-up boots. Luckily for you, Coofandy is offering my viewers an exclusive discount, which you can get by simply heading down to the description box and using the links and codes provided. Thanks again, Coofandy, for sponsoring this video.
Now, if chosen correctly, hats, scarves, and gloves, they can be a great way to add some texture and warmth to your seasonal outfits. But every year, I see guys using these accessories as a way to stand out and draw attention to themselves, usually through loud colors or really childish designs. Now, like all accessories, you always want to adopt a less is more approach, and this is especially true for your winter pieces. Now, for your hats, I always like to recommend going for a beanie in a dark neutral shade with no distracting logos or graphics. Overly ornate beanies can definitely steal focus from your overall look, while more muted tones can effortlessly complement your winter fit. Now, this rule basically applies to your scarves too, but I have to say I do like it when a guy wears a colorful scarf under his coat and it subtly just kind of peeks out around the collar of the jacket. However, you always want to make sure that the length of your scarf isn't too long or Hogwartsy when it comes to the overall design. Lastly, your gloves. So once again, you always want to go for a more muted shade, but if you want something dressier than your standard wool pair, then you go for some stylish leather gloves instead. Just never go for a fingerless pair, as these will instantly steal focus from the rest of your outfit, kind of like this next pick. When talking about seasonal clothing, it's really important that the colors you wear reflect both the weather and time of year. And I'm constantly seeing guys going for shades that are far too bright for the winter months. Now, don't get me wrong, you are totally allowed to rock brighter items during the spring and summer months, with some of my favorites being a pastel colored t-shirt, breezy chambray shirts, and light wash jeans. However, as we said earlier, winter style, it's all about thicker, darker fabrics, and going for heavier items in, say, a brighter, like light shade just looks really wrong 90% of the time. Also, dark colors are better at hiding damp patches, which is particularly convenient if you live somewhere that gets a lot of rain or snow. Now, for the winter months, you really can't go wrong by sticking with darker neutral colors like black, charcoal, or navy. But you can always incorporate some olive or burgundy shades if you want to mix things up. With that said, you don't have to completely avoid lighter or brighter shades, but at this time of year, they really work best if used sparingly, usually when layering. Now, for example, you can try wearing a white crew neck t-shirt under a black or navy sweater, or maybe contrast a darker outfit by wearing a brighter, lighter colored scarf, but just not too bright. Now, these are some of my favorite ways to add a pop of color to your winter outfits, and it's these little style moves that can really make a big difference in balancing out the darkness of your cold weather looks. And while we're on the subject of keeping things looking balanced, I mean, I hate to say it, but odds are if you're new here, your layering game probably stinks. Layering your clothes is a stylish and functional cold weather style skill that allows you to adapt to environments with different temperatures and look good doing so. However, I see so many guys making a number of different layering fails. Now, first of all, you always want the fabric of each item to get thicker with each layer. So for example, start with a t-shirt as your base layer, or some thermals if you live somewhere particularly chilly, before adding, say, an Oxford shirt, and then a crew neck or a V-neck sweater on top. Remember to consider the length and fit of each layer, as you never want to wear long sleeves under short ones or relaxed fit items under more figure-hugging ones. Color-wise, I personally think that layering always looks best when you wear brighter, lighter shades on the inside, and then you get darker with each additional layer, especially during the winter. Now, wearing darker items under lighter ones can look really off-putting, and it's not something that should be attempted unless you really know what you're doing. Finally, you should always want to make sure that each individual layer works on its own, should you need to remove them when you get indoors. Now, you may look hot with that sweater and blazer combo, but wearing it in front of a crackling fire may result in you melting like a stylish marshmallow. You'll want to make sure that you're not making this easily preventable sweater mistake. So this next one is such a doozy for me because it is so easily preventable, and that is wearing pilled or holey sweaters. So I honestly feel that no winter wardrobe is complete without a selection of stylish sweaters, as not only do they keep you feeling warm, but they definitely earn you some major seasonal style points. But so many guys seem to think that it's perfectly fine to be seen in public wearing a sweater that's either full of holes or covered in little pill bumps. Now, this is a super sloppy mistake that, like your boots, usually comes as a result of failing to look after the fabric. However, just a little bit of TLC can go an awful long way in making your sweaters not only look good, but last longer as well. So first of all, if they have holes in them due to moths or general wear and tear, then you either need to bring them to the tailor to get them stitched or just take them to your nearest donation bin. Now, on the other hand, if your sweaters are pilled, then this is actually something you can fix yourself using either a razor or, better yet, an electric lint shaver. Now, these things are so handy and are actually pretty affordable, especially if you compare them to the cost of having to replace your sweaters year in, year out. That said, your sweater isn't the only thing you need to keep looking good. I get it. You've watched a few of my videos and you finally decided to pick up a sexy and stylish pair of lace-up leather boots to see you through the winter. Well done, my friend. Ashley approves. Unfortunately, the next error that I see so many guys making is not protecting their footwear from the harsh winter conditions. Now, real leather may be much more durable than its synthetic counterparts, but this does not necessarily mean that it's indestructible, and your boots will definitely require some maintenance if you want them to last longer than a couple of winters. First of all, make sure that you are regularly cleaning your boots using a brush and a cleaning product, as dirt and mud can clog up the pores of the fabric and leave the exterior both feeling rough and looking shabby. Now, speaking of, it's super important to also apply a quality leather moisturizer, as this will help the leather to look shiny and soft. And if you live somewhere that gets an excessive amount of rain or snow, then you should definitely consider using a waterproof wax or seal, as this will increase the chances of keeping your feet both warm and dry. Look, this may all seem overkill, but trust me, real boot lovers, they know that a good pair requires occasional maintenance in order for them to look good for as long as possible. And while we are on the subject, if you do live somewhere that gets a lot of wet weather, then I would avoid suede entirely, as it just won't hold up as well as real leather will.